Okay, now I'm going to show you how to put on makeup, and this shot is going to be with my hooks on, and this is what I do. I always use my hooks when I put on my makeup. I just think it's easier, but I know a lot of you like to not use your hooks through the day, so I want to show you a way to do that too. Just please note that I'm not used to doing it without my hooks, so it's going to be a little bit sloppier, but it definitely can be done with the tools that I'm providing today. So first thing I do is get the hair out of the way. And this is not the most glamorous of looks, so no judgment, please. So get the hair out of the way. And then I do, I'm an old lady, so I have to, of course, take the wrinkle or the darkness out of underneath my eyes. So I use just a good CoverGirl basic foundation, and I use one of those fancy Q-tips that I told you guys about, and put a little concealer underneath the eyes. So I'm using my hooks. Like I said, I need my hooks fixed too, so I've got a little bit of an issue there, but we won't talk about that just yet. I prefer to use the pointed ones. I think it's easier to get into all the little nooks and crannies. And right now I'm pretty low on my concealer, so I have to dip in there. But as you can see, I just get a little bit on the tip. Get rid of that. And then I just dab into where I need the concealer. And just dab underneath the eyes. And the hook really works well because it's easy to hold and easy to maneuver. And then I can just swipe it in. I know this is really boring for you. So we might edit this part out because you guys know what rubbing in concealer is. But I'll just show you the moves that I do in case you want to mimic movement. And you can either switch hands back and forth, or you can keep it the same hand. It works either way. I tend to switch. I find it easier to get into the nooks. And then I just go over the redness and get all the areas. Sometimes wetting it a little bit makes it a little bit easier to smooth in as well. And then of course the foundation will blend a little bit better at the base. I have to thank my cameraman, Mr. Mike Lentz, who is trying really hard not to giggle right now. He unfortunately has to be my cameraman on many a thing. Say hi, Mike. He won't say hi. You should say hi. More entertaining. Okay, well, I'm not going to do the best of job, but you can get the gist. I'll touch this up later. But you can see that using a Q-tip works very, very well. Again, these Q-tips can be purchased at Target in multiple shapes and sizes or tip designs. One thing I want to mention too, you might notice that it looks like I have eyeliner on already. For those of you who don't even want to deal with this, and I really don't blame you, about 8 years ago, I did get permanent eyeliner. It's a little costly, but I think it's well worth it. I think it was like $250 per eye, and I had like a kind of a navy blue eyeliner tattooed on my eyes. And yeah, it seems a little frightening at first to think that they're like tattooing right next to your eye, but they're pretty good at what they do, and they take a lot of, get a professional one. I would recommend going to a medical provider. Make sure that there's a medical or a licensed medical person in staff when you get it done. and if you choose to go that direction. There's also the permanent eyelashes you can have now. There's so many more options than when I first started, that you don't even have to go through a makeup routine around your eyes anymore. There's so many things you can have done that are more permanent. So I did get the permanent eyeliner, but now I like to change it up a little bit and get different colors. So I still have the permanent eyeliner, and it's held out pretty well. It's been 8 years now, and it's still holding pretty strong. So that's another route that you can choose as well. All right, so now that I have the concealer on in my eyes, I'm gonna go move to my foundation. And as I said before, this is the combination bronzer, foundation / sunscreen that I use. Again, it's about a factor 15, which is, it might even be 30, but anyway, it's sufficient for daily use. And it's a little bit difficult to use. I would prefer that they had a different dispenser on it, but I'll go with it. So what I typically do is just pump a little bit out. And setting my hooks down on the counter is the best way to do it. So I just pump a little bit out. You guys are gonna think this is a little weird. And then I bring it up to my face, and I just swipe a little bit on my face. And then I pump a little bit out. And I don't go all the way down, I just do a little bit, so just a little bit comes out, and then I swipe it on my other cheek. And that's typically almost enough. And I'll just lay it down, then I'll grab that cool sponge that I got. This is an older sponge, but I didn't want to break out my new ones just yet. And I grab the very tip of the sponge, just wet it a little bit, a little swipe. And then I'll go ahead and blend it in. By blending it, it just allows more moisture to go in. And we are a very dry state in Colorado, so the water really helps the dry skin. Now, if you live in a more humid environment, you may not even need to use the water to blend it. Your skin might be moist enough, but add a little water if you feel like you're not getting the blendability out of the product. And I'll just go ahead and wipe. And then at the end, you start tapping it in. And I don't know why they recommend doing that, but I have noticed it helps it from blotching or streaking. It just helps it to blend in better. Sometimes I notice when I just swipe my product too much, it starts bunching up and getting kind of, I don't know how you would describe it. It kind of starts getting sticky. Some products do that, but if you do it with the sponge, it blends in very well. So I do that, and I get pretty good coverage that way, and then you'll notice that it starts to blend in a little bit better with the concealer on the bottom as well. So after I've used that and blended that in, then I start to go with the bronzer, which is the stick. I showed that before, and I chose this time, I think this is cherry, I can't read that, but I think it's cherry bronze or cherry coffee or something like that. It had the word cherry in it, that's all I know. Again, easy to use. Now, the rubber bands that I use on my hook here provide the sticky that I can use, the grip. It provides the grip that I can use to pull off the lid, and also provide the grip that I need, I'm not doing this very well, to roll up the product. There we go, the other way would help. So again, this is something that is useful to have the hooks for. Now again, if you just have your residual limb, you of course just use your limb, and that would work as your grip. And again, I just go ahead and blotch this, do a little swipe, kind of play with how much color you want. And these, again, it would be easy to use with your residual limb. You would just squeeze it between and go ahead and do that. And I'll try and demonstrate that too. I think that's going to be an epic fail for me, but you guys will probably be a rock star at that just because you're more skilled. And then I take my trusty sponge, get it a little wet, a couple swipes, and then go ahead and start blending away. All you other ladies out there who came to accompany your limbless friend can also use these tips too. It's not just for us. You guys too. I know some of you guys out there want to do this. Might give me a weird look. And just add water if you need to blend more. There's a lot of blending. See, it really works well for blending when, you know, when you want your hooks. Now, you could do this very easily with your residual limb, but it's very hard to get blend going when you just have your hooks. So the sponges make it great. So I'm almost done here. Now, you could see that like near my nose and like the corners of my eyes, I haven't really gotten in there very well. So I'll just flip the sponge over and use the tip. And that works for getting up in there in those corners. Or I can use my Q-tips for that as well. Go around the eyes a little bit. Now I'm doing a little bit more of a condensed version of this. I mean, you can do eyeshadow and all kinds of things, but I'm just going to do the eyeliner version. But before, I showed you those eyeshadows that were in a stick. So at this point, I would just swipe my lid with one of those pen eyeshadows. So it would be just like taking a pen and wiping it right across your eyelid, and that would be super easy. So I would take a little more time doing the blending here. But I'm not going to bore you to death on this video, but like on the sides and up here, you know, I would probably blend a little bit more. And if you wanted more color, you could add a little more color with that stick. I would blend a little bit more, but I'm just doing a cursory job. Put that back. Okay, now I'm going to use another one of those sticks that I mentioned before. This is an old one, so it's from a previous time. Again, opening it the same way. And then it's more of a blush color, so I'm going to use this for my blush. Get it a little wet. Got the lid wet. I'm going to rub it right here where I would normally put some blush. Oops. And then use my sponge, kind of blend it in. There we go. Also, I can use this for lipstick or lip gloss too. So I do one of these. I'll do better. And I could take the other end, just because I don't want to waste my Q-tip, and then blend it in into the corners. Okay, I am done. Oops. You know where that went. So I am done with this because it's messing up my bangs. We can't have that. So let's take that off since we're done with the face. And the next thing we'll do is move to the eyes. Okay, now I want to show you how, since I'm foregoing the eyeshadow right now, I'm just going to show you how I do eyeliner. And I keep my eyeliner simple. I just use the pencil eyeliners. And I'm going to show you a two-step eyeliner process. For my lower lids, I'm going to do a lighter color blue. And then for my darker line, I'm going to do a darker color brown, I believe. Yes, brown is what I chose. So again, with the hooks, just going to draw it on there like I was drawing a picture. So here I go. I do it below the lash line. I've done it in the line and below, so maybe I'll do one of each. Oh, I actually went in there. I don't even know if anything's coming off on this. I can't tell. That's below the line, and this is in the line, or I don't know how you say it. But with a little practice, you'll get there. Have faith in yourself. You're better at these than you think. I might have to go back and do these later, but you get the gist. Okay. And then this is the brown. This hook isn't very tight. There we go. And again, I just use my right hand, or you can switch hands too. Just angle your hook. All right, and that's my upper lid. And then mascara. Any kind of mascara you want is good. I would suggest, this is kind of a tricky one because it has a round handle or base, and a lot of them out there are square. Square is a lot easier to hold. I would suggest getting that, especially if your hook is wet or slippery. Again, you can do this, you know, with your limbs, holding it between like that. I've seen women do it very, very well. Someone you might want to watch who hopefully is at the Enhancing Skills for Life conference. I don't know why it escaped me, but it did. She'll be there. She does makeup with her limbs, is very good at it. And there's a woman there that can show you how to do it too. So she might be able to help you out. So for my mascara, again, to open it, I just use the rubber bands to hold it, or your residual limb, and just hold it in place and then twist it, open, and then pull like that. And then, you know, put on your mascara any way that you feel comfortable. I typically do it like this at first. Oh, there's that mirror. And then you can either flip hands or not, but I do. And I don't even grab the handle, I just grab where I can. Now, a lot of people, myself included, like to put a little color in their brows. So I'm going to do that as well. You can also get your brows tattooed. I did that. It didn't work out so well for me. It didn't last very long. There's still a little bit of color left, but not as much color as I like. So I still put a little color in there. And I'll show you how I do that. You can grab a pencil and do it, but I do it a little bit easier. I don't like to have so much product and have to switch around and everything. I'll do the bottom lashes later, and I'll get that smudge off in a little bit too. But with my brows, since I have this little thing in the hand, I'll just go lightly, just very, very lightly. I'm trying not to get my hair. Just very lightly over the hairs. Just get a little bit of color, just lightly over. And usually, and I forgot to bring it with me, I usually just have a little brush. Like one of these brushes with no mascara on it, like an old mascara brush, and just comb it through, and it gives it just enough color. So, but I can wig it, I can wing it. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So just a little bit of color, not too much. You don't want to look like a freak. You won't look like a freak. Just go like that, just a little bit of color. And then take that concealer thing that you haven't thrown away yet and just lightly kind of blend it in. Tap it in there. And this is like a quick brow coloring. It's a real quick one. Kind of lightens the black a little bit and gives you a little bit of color in your brows. Or get an old mascara brush and just brush that color in. And then it also can take care of that stupid spot that you put on your hair because you made a mistake. Because you will make mistakes. And just get rid of that. And water does a good job too. So there, so basically you're ready to go. And you'll do much faster than I did on this video too. So thank you for watching my video.